talked to mayoral candidate James DeLeon for NBC 10 at Issue in early April. He's a former judge, and we talked about his plans to combat crime in the city and how that would involve the courts. James DeLeon joins us now in studio. Welcome.
Thank you, Lauren. It's very good being here with you today.
Well, let's talk about this race as we head into the final stretch, the final 5 weeks. You are running against a bunch of candidates. Some of them have a higher profile. People may know who they are, and some of them have quite a bit of money. How are you approaching this final stretch, and how are you going to compete against that, especially the money?
Well, I think it all comes down to who the candidates are, where they came from, the fact that they were members of a dysfunctional city council as it relates to how they operated with gun violence, the fact that they did not confront the mayor en masse as to how to combat gun violence, the fact that the city controller did not go with city council to confront the mayor as to the issues that we have pertaining to gun violence. So I'm running on a campaign that I know how to reduce gun violence and crime in the city because I've done it before. I did it for 34 years. I overlooked crime in the city of Philadelphia. As a matter of fact, there was a period of time when I was supervising judge, and before I was supervising judge, the homicides in the city were over 400 a year. For the 7 years that I was supervising judge, I led the initiatives that reduced homicides down to 250 a year for that 7 straight years. So the reality is that I helped save over 1,000 lives during that period of time.
What are you saying you specifically did that you think made that you're claiming made an impact on those numbers?
Well, the fact was that I led initiatives which were intensive supervision of the individuals that came into the court, the fact that we were giving them job counseling, education, anger management, post-traumatic stress disorder, all these particular type of things. And we gave them curfews. We did various things to make sure that we had control of the individuals that were coming into our courtroom. And over a period of time, that had benefits in the fact that it reduced the amount of perpetrators that were coming into our courts for homicide.
Let's talk about some of the things that you're proposing now if you were to be elected mayor. One of them does deal with the courts, and you have said that when someone's arrested, you think that they should have a social media ban. First of all, how does that work? How do you do that? How do you enforce that?
Well, it's a very easy thing to do, and it's constitutional as well. There's case law that allows for this, both for adults and for juveniles. So, but it has to be on a case-by-case basis.
But you said it should be for everyone who's arrested.
I changed it.
When did you change it?
I changed it in my plan. If you look on my website under the Philadelphia plan, the local incident management system, it'll say it's on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, so you initially wanted it to be for everyone, and now you're saying maybe not everybody?
Well, I love it to be for everyone, but we have to be on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
And
how does the mayor do this? How does the mayor, I mean, because you're running for mayor,
right,
not someone in the judicial system, how does the mayor implement that?
So it's very easy. The main problem that's happened right now between the city council that used to be there, the people who are now running en masse for mayor when they should have been running en masse to the mayor asking for a reduction of crime, what we do is that we have conversation with the court. See, right now—
As the mayor would have a conversation with the court.
Look at it like this, Lauren. As you know, we have the 3 branches of government: executive, judicial, legislative. What happened here was that no one from city council, no one from the mayor's office ever walked over to the court and asked the court, is there anything you can do to help us in this gun violence situation that we're on right now? Every individual judge that I have spoke to, including those that are the president judge and the administrative judges, say city council, the mayor, none of them came over to us to ask us anything, and we're the people that get these cases.
No, but I understand what you're saying about previously, but if you are the mayor, how do you get a social media ban to people who are arrested, or you're saying on a case-by-case basis? How do you implement that? I mean, do you believe that you would have the power to do that?
Well, the courts have the power to do that.
So why could the mayor?
Well, the mayor has to have cooperation, coordination between the court, the mayor, the district attorney, the police, all of them working together, using the court for what the court can do on a case-by-case basis. For instance, if we give a social media ban on people that are arrested for straw purchases, having a gun, domestic violence, assaultive behavior, what statistics are showing is that the social media is the driving force behind a lot of the shootings that we have had in Philadelphia. It's the reason why the young people were killed in Roxborough. It's the reason why there were 2 shootings over at Overbrook. It's the reason why there was a young man killed at Fells a couple of weeks ago. It's the reason why the 14 and 15-year-olds were in a shooting just last week. So if we reduce the clutter on social media, the police, right now they have what's known as a social media task force, where they listen to what's going on social media so that they can catch perpetrators before they perpetrate, catch them after they perpetrate. So that right there, along with a curfew, would give less clutter to the police so that the police could do their job, and it's part of probation.
All right, I just want to ask you about a couple more things before we run out of time. On another issue, you had been asked about the 76ers proposal arena, and you said that you were opposed to that. What would you do then if that came to your desk? How would you handle that with the different parties?
Well, it's a very easy situation. The first thing we have to look at, well, let's remember I'm an engineer in the Army. So I know that in order to get to that stadium, you have to expand the roadway. And expanding the roadway is what takes out Chinatown. So we cannot put that stadium there in that particular place, expanding the roadway, which is going to knock out Chinatown. So we have to sit down and think and talk. What else can we do? There are other places in this city that are not going to impact neighborhoods, especially cultures, the way that stadium will. I understand that you want a stadium in Center City, but putting it directly there with the roadways that you're going to have to build is going to knock out Chinatown. We know it, so it can't be done. Okay.
While you were a judge, for more than 30 years. You did have a disciplinary action against you regarding a stay-away order that you had issued for a social acquaintance, and there was some disciplinary action taken against you. Of course, when voters are choosing a mayor, judgment is one of the things that they look for. What does that incident say about yours? That's a good question. Well, the fact is, at that time, I was a young judge. It was 2005. I followed my moral compass. I made a mistake. I endured the consequences, and I moved on. I regained the public trust. I was retained by the public for 2 consecutive retention elections after that. During that period of time, they found me to be a great judge. I also wrote on the situations that we're talking about now: how to reduce gun violence, how to reduce poverty in this city, how to bring our city up out of the situation that we're in right now. So the fact is, yes, I did make a mistake at that time, but there are other candidates that are running right now for mayor that made mistakes as well. So let's talk about their problems, and let's make it an even playing field. I appreciate you addressing that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I really appreciate being here with you today. This has been a wonderful occasion. You can hear more from the candidates and learn more about the race on NBC10.com.